Hello and welcome back to the Road to Good Cooking. And I just stopped here for 1 second so I can give out a very special thanks to GreenStalk. And I didn't do the unboxing, which I'll explain in the video later, simply because I had 3 40-pound bags of this. I had GreenStalk's big old box with all the parts to my original GreenStalk in there, and I had the little round table that you normally see me sit at having coffee and stuff. I had that there so I can put the tiers on top of the table, fill them up with this stuff and put my little seedlings in there and then stack them. I figured it would be a lot easier for me to, lift something that's waist high and then set it down as opposed to trying to get on the ground and lift it up. Now, you guys know I am a senior citizen and yeah, I got muscles, but I got a workout yesterday. So that's how I forgot to, well, I didn't forget. I wanted to make a special part of the video where I can give a special thanks to GreenStalk. And in my box came this wonderful little envelope, and it says open me, which I'm going to do, and in it contained the GreenStalk issue number 1 magazine, and I read it from cover to cover. There's a lot of useful information in here and a ton of resources that I have been checking out. The video, the menus, the recipes are absolutely awesome, and I'm sure I'm going to be trying all of them. And then it had different gardeners in here, and Cassandra, I follow her. My daughter's name is Cassandra also, so I follow her, and she has a little small urban homestead, and she's doing her GreenStalk on her terrace. So I found that very inspirational, and there's quite a few of them in here that I follow. Okay, so that was in there, and then it has the GreenStalk Vertical Planter instructions, which are very self-explanatory, and it was really easy to put together. But it gives you, a bunch of successful tips and everything that you need to know about the GreenStalk. And I love this page here. You can see part of my markings, and this tells you how many vegetables you can put in each little slot. So I am super excited about that. And got this wonderful little card. These are the owners of GreenStalk, and one thing I love about GreenStalk, they're made in the USA. Yay! And it is a family-owned and operated company, and the GreenStalk is made with food-grade plastic, which I am really loving that. And it comes with a 5-year warranty. And they sent me a complimentary package of Butter Crunch lettuce, and I started those in my grow light situation. And they sent the cutest little stickers, and I'll put these on something. I'll put them on my water or my coffee decanter or something. But that's so cute. That is a picture of my 5-tier GreenStalk. And then this one has all the different produce in there. I'm growing all this actually. Yeah, the California Wonder, I'm growing carrots, and I'm growing Butter Crunch lettuce. And then this one says absolutely radishing. I love that one. And last but certainly not least, there was a card in that package of the young man that packaged my GreenStalk, and his name is Dustin. He is the assistant shipping manager. Hey, Dustin. Ain't he cute? That's Dustin. He packed my box. Oh, as you can see, I'm sitting in a different spot now, so I still haven't got things dialed in, like my lighting and my microphone and all that stuff. So bear with me for the next couple of weeks until we get it all set up. So enjoy the video. I'll see you when I see you. Happy Sunday morning, and this is the only way to start a Sunday morning with a good cup of coffee and some good reading and just some relaxing time. And here is my GreenStalk. Now you saw from the beginning picture, I have the 5-tier original GreenStalk. And before I filled it up with the soil and the plants and everything, I assembled it, put it together because I wanted to see just how easy it was to put together. And it's super easy to put together to all my senior sisters out there. And so what I ended up doing, once I got it all together, I thought, oh, this thing as tall as I am. I'm 5'4". Yes, I'm vertically challenged. Get over it. So I thought this is going to be a challenge for me to lift up a 3-gallon jug of water to fill up the water bowl at the top. And getting up on a step stool or some type of stool, that is not an option because I'm a senior citizen and I didn't want to take the chance of falling off a stool or doing something crazy like falling into the GreenStalk. And well, anyway, I digress. But no, I didn't want to do that. So I separated the tiers. So now I just have a 3-tier. And then I have 2 more left, which I will fill up. And what I'd like to do is buy another tier with another roller coaster for it. And that way I'll have 2 3-tier GreenStalks. And that'll be a lot easier for me to maneuver around my small space. So that be the plan. And I'm sorry I didn't do the big fanfare thing with the box opening and all that, but it was just not enough space to do that. And here she is all filled up and all of the seedlings in there. I started from seed. I'm so proud of myself and I did it right this year. And over here is where I have my cherry tomato plant and it's in a 7-gallon grow container and I have it just sitting on my step stool there. That's where I keep my feet. And there's my aloe vera plant, which I keep lots of aloe vera growing because I'm constantly burning myself in the kitchen. And here is my jalapeno plant that I started from seed, and that too is in a 7-gallon grow bag. And that's my spider plant that my neighbor gave me. And I'm probably going to put that in a bigger pot and put it on my desk in the house. It's really pretty, and it really does need to be in a more shaded area. And this is my wiring from my greenhouse. And what's happening in our neighborhood, there is a feral cat and he loves to come in my patio. And when I first moved here, he was spraying my screen door. And I finally got rid of him by wiping my screen door down with Clorox bleach, and I guess he didn't like the smell, so I haven't seen him in here since, but I don't want to take any chances now that I have my whole patio is going to be full of my garden. So I just covered my patio with those wire racks, and behind my GreenStalk, that is my fireplace grate from my old house that I sold. Hey, it works. You got to repurpose what you got, right? But the purpose is just making sure that my patio is secured. And here's a story I'd like to share with you about my footstool you guys always hear me talking about, or you see pictures of me with my feet propped up on my footstool. Well, there's a story behind that. And in 2017, we had a really bad windstorm here. We had hurricane speed winds here in Las Vegas, believe it or not. And I was sitting in my office, editing a video, and I heard this great big loud bang. I mean, it was so loud it made me jump out of my chair. And I ran to my kitchen window, and this is what I saw. I couldn't wrap my mind around what I was looking at. Well, come to find out, there was a tree right in front of my dining room, and that's what fell over. And here is the view from my back patio. And by the time I got out there, my neighbor that lived across the courtyard, he was screaming for me to go back in the house. I'm glad I did go back in the house because the tree caught on fire because it fell in the power line. So I'm looking at it through my office window, and this is what I'm looking at. And I was an absolute wreck that day. Sophie was running all over the house. We were both crying. I'm screaming. I had to call the fire department. They came and put the fire out because the wires had caught on fire, and it took all the power out in the neighborhood. And here is my tree. That window right there, that is my kitchen window. And you can see where I was looking at the bottom side of the tree. And so the next couple of days, the tree trimmers were there. This is a tree after the fire department put out the fire, and within a couple of hours, they had cut the tree away from the power line. So it was just laying there up against the wall. And a couple of days later, the tree trimmers came and they started cutting the tree down. And I'm still a nervous wreck. I didn't sleep at all that night. And they just went to work and they were cutting down the tree. And it was so sad to see that beautiful, that 60-foot tree. I mean, it just literally fell over. And when I tell you God was with me that day, had that tree fallen over the other way, it would have crashed right through my dining room. And I just don't even want to think about that. Well, it was a nerve-wracking situation. I was in the process of selling the house, and needless to say, the realtor called me, brought somebody over to look at the to look at the house, and here I have this great big tree laying right in front of my front door. So when the realtor arrived with the prospective buyer, I just made a big joke of it, and I said, "Hey, do you like the landscaping I did?" And she started laughing, and she says, "Yeah, I know." She says, "Our yard looks the same way. Her neighbor's tree had fallen over into their yard." And almost crashed into her car. But thank goodness the car was far enough away where they just got the branches and the leaves on top of the car. It was too funny. And here is when the guys were cutting the tree, I asked them if I could have like 3 pieces of it. And here are the 3 pieces. And I wear a size 8.5 shoe. So this will give you a perspective as the size of that tree. Look at it. Look at that. And they say you can tell the age of the tree by the rims that you see in the center there. And I'm guessing that tree was probably 60, 70 years old. And that made it really, really sad knowing that that tree was cut down to sawdust. So I kept 3 pieces of it, and that is the story of my footstool. I really miss my old house, and the one thing that I miss more than anything is the view of the sunsets every single day. And this was a beautiful sunset, and I had to capture it in a photo. I mean, that's God's canvas. And here's young Sophie. She was just not even a year old during when I took this picture, and she was out in my garden, which she shouldn't have been. And this is my pepper garden that I had in my atrium in my house. The atrium was centered right in the middle of the house. So as soon as you walk through the front door, you would see my atrium. And I grew all kinds of peppers. I made lots of pepper jelly back in those days. I had a garden outside on the patio. This is my mint that I was growing. I had tomatoes going out there, more peppers. What else did I grow out there? Oh, Roma tomatoes. And I also had tomatoes growing after all of my peppers were harvested. I had determinate, indeterminate tomatoes growing, and those things I had no idea that they were going to grow as tall as they did. They were as tall as the roof in the atrium. So needless to say, I had no idea that there was a determinate tomato and an indeterminate tomato. And we were just so intrigued by watching those tomatoes growing. And that was like the topic of all of our dinner parties during that time. And we ended up digging up those tomatoes when they reached the roof. And it was time for them to go. After we dug up those tomatoes and I tried to plant other things in the atrium, nothing grew right. And my inexperience at the time, I had no idea that you were supposed to put something in the soil to kind of bring it back to life, kind of amend the soil. I knew nothing about that. I just thought that you just put some seeds in the dirt and let it grow, and when they stop growing, you put something else in there and keep going, but that didn't work right. So needless to say, nothing really grew right in there after that. And after Jerry flooded the atrium, which is a whole new story, we end up taking the garden out of there, everything out the garden, and we did something else with it. Anyway, I know I've been missing in action, and I'm sorry. I have had a lot going on the last couple of months, and I'll fill you in on that at a later date. But thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you all are well. I hope all you fathers had a wonderful Father's Day. and take care of yourself. Take care of your babies. Take care of your furry babies. Definitely take care of your gardens. And to all my senior friends out there, I tell you what, if you're not growing something on your patio, if you don't have a big yard, you only have a little tiny patio like I have, put you some seeds in a pot of soil and grow you something. Start out with something small if you have to. I learned the hard way last year when I was planting stuff that I shouldn't have been planting, but like I said, I've had 6-7 months to kind of research everything that I needed to do, and I'm going to do it right this year. I'm going to take my time in doing it, and I love sitting out on my patio. And now that I have my GreenStalk, I'm going to love it even more. The GreenStalk Vertical Planters are the absolute best. I highly recommend the GreenStalk Vertical Planters, especially if you have a small space like I do. The footprint of the GreenStalk planter is, it doesn't take up any more than a large pot, that size. And I'm going to have 2 of them out there, and I'm going to make it work. And if worst case scenario, if it gets too crammed up out there, I'll put one out on my front porch, because I have a nice size porch in the front. So with that said, I'm going to get going, and thank you guys again for stopping by. Be blessed, keep cooking, and definitely keep gardening. See you when I see you.